another irresponsible decision. I bought a new car! Yay! Is it necessary? Absolutely not. Did I do it anyway? Sure, why not? So this should be my new daily incoming, because my daily now just decided to not give a fuck and just die on the spot, so now I don't have a car anymore. That's legally on the road, at least. So now I bought this car with a little bit of issues. I'll show you around in a minute. I like this color, but I'm not sure if I'll keep it. Maybe I'll be putting it in some raspberry kind of color with chrome wheels and so on. This is my fourth car now. My dad will probably kill me, but that's on his demand, so. This is now my E36, not an M3. It's a 389, so I had to go for something lighter because the insurance doesn't love me anymore. I have a vision for this car, but I will not tell you yet. You're gonna have to follow this series to find out. I already ordered different rear lights and different shift knobs, Alcantara to recover the roof lining, coilovers and some other things you need for an E36, just the small things. It's now on lowering springs, but it's just not it anymore. It's an older car, it's a 30-year-old car. It's from the year 1949. So it's an old-timer, which means it's only 150 euros to get it on the road. So without any further ado, let's get into this car. Behind the scenes of my beautiful setup. Over here you can see that there's a piece of paint gone, but I think that's relatively easy to fix. It's like a thick layer of filler, but I don't know if that's an issue, I don't think so. I'll have to figure out how to fix this gap. The rear lights aren't working, but I already ordered new ones, so that's no problem anymore. Over here I'm missing this plastic piece of the fender, and you can tell that the BMW logos have been through a lot, so I have to switch them up as well. Right here we are missing the engine radiator air duct. That's quite difficult to find actually, but I'll find something for that. But in the meantime the air filter tray is already installed, so I get fresh air now instead of hot air. The rubbers around the door handles are also in a very bad condition, and the indicator left in front. So first things first is stripping off the roof liners so to make it ready to cover it up with the Alcantara, which was a little less easy than I actually thought. Going over with a knife to get all the residue gone. This doesn't really work. I wouldn't suggest this. I'm going to take the rear lights out already, so when the new ones come in, it's just plug and play. And these come out with just 8mm bolts and one plug-in. Look at the dirt underneath these lights. I cleaned that up already, of course, but what the actual crap. We made connection with the indicator and I was just siliconing everything in its place and just letting it sit until it's dry. Riese was also welding its exhaust to a 2 end-tip exhaust of its BMW 1 Series. It's a legal end muffler from the sports brand Remus, which actually should be a pretty nice sound coming out of this end muffler. But it was pretty boring, so Remus, if you're hearing this, please step up your game, it's kinda needed. I also had a client who wanted me to detail his van, so that's exactly what I did. So if any one of you is interested in a detail of their car for a reasonable price, and if you're living in the area, you can always hit me up. I did it, guys! I did not crash the car. For once. My dad would be proud of me. Previous week I took out my radiator, which is still lying here, and I didn't want to put it back in that video because it was raining and my nose is in the rain. Guess what it's doing today? It is raining again. Long live Belgium. So that's for when it stops raining, but one thing we can do is put these pieces back in its place. I don't know the correct name of these, but they're here. Because that's not something we have to do in the rain. And later on we will do the radiator. But first of all, we have to clean them back up a little because they're still rusty. I already did a lot of rust removal, but we have to still keep going because this car is a never-ending rust project. So we'll see where that's gonna take us. And this one as well. So this is also very rusty and not in the best shape, but we have to save what we are able to save, so yay. Going in with a steel brush and some brake cleaner, because this works like a charm if you want to clean up surfaces really fast, including your hands. If your hands are like very oily and dirty and so on because of working on cars, just spray some brake cleaner upon your hands. I don't know if that's safe to do though, but it works. So if you ever find yourself in that position, this will be your buddy. It's always a good idea to spray some WD-40 upon your rubbers to make them a little bit more flexible so they break off less easily. If you have to learn anything from me, then it must be to use screwdrivers. In any aspect you can use the screwdrivers. So this is rust removal, and I am using screwdrivers for the rust removal. I don't know if that's actually a thing, or if that's just something I made up in my head, but let me show you. So right here we have this thick peel of rust, and if you just put a screwdriver in between it and you hammer it, then it just comes loose without all the sanding. So that's a very nice something, and it saves you time. And now I'm going over with a heat resistance primer. It's better to use an epoxy primer, but it's not something I had right now, so I just did it like this. First we have to attach the coilovers to the car, which is very easy. It just holds with one bolt, so it's just in and out. The next thing to connect is the stabilizer bar. And then it's connecting the hub and the other pieces, and everything just comes together. It just figures itself out. So everything's connected now. The only thing we have to do is tighten a few bolts, but we don't have the right equipment for that now. So it's just waiting on that, and after that we can connect the brake discs and the brake pads and just assemble everything back together. I tried to put my radiator back in, but that wasn't the best idea I had that day. That night we actually unexpectedly went to an illegal car meet in Belgium. So if you're interested in that and if you want to take a look into the illegal car meets, then here are some clips from last night. Enjoy.
Ik denk dat we automatisch hij drukt in pinkers.